We're back all the way from sunny Southern California into 32 million homes, and somebody's counting. This is America Trends. I'm Barry Nussbaum, findbarry.com, filling me in tonight for Dr. Gina. Our poll question tonight is, was the FBI correct by not asking for an indictment of Hillary? Please go vote. We want to know what you think. YouTooAmerica.com or use the Youtoo America app. It's available now for Apple and Android devices. You go download it if you don't have it already. Okay, let's go back with Tom. We've got some important questions. Where we left off, I wanted to ask you, is the current division, racial division, Tom, in this country going to continue if Hillary wins?
Yes.
And why?
Because this isn't something that happened overnight. This is the product of a stagnant economy over 10 to 15 years. And when you take away economic opportunity and you compete with other classes for jobs as opposed to economic competition that improves the standard of living, that stagnation will continue under her. There isn't a place for these people to go. The dropout rate in LA Unified High School District for minorities is above 60%. And they have no jobs to go to.
Just for fun, what is it for whites?
No, I don't know that figure for LA Unified, but way to trump me. The point, no worries. The point is, if there is no vibrant economy, and then it's just me competing to get a job against you instead of jobs growing, and that's where we are today. That's where Europe is today. So the answer is the stagnation of the economy will likely continue. There won't be any major reforms. Government would grow. And yes, this problem festers over time.
Okay, so let's see conversely between Hillary as president, Donald Trump as president, what changes under a Trump presidency versus a Hillary Clinton presidency on that same issue?
You get tax reform. The economy will bounce back smartly, assuming no terrorism in the United States, which we're going to talk about. And a growing economy will begin to improve things on the margin. And if we have economic growth for 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years above 4%, it will tend to dampen down this social competition when people start to concentrate on economic competition.
Okay, so that's the economy stupid part. What about in terms of how to address the division among the races, which from my perspective is as bad as it's been in a very long time?
It is.
What does Trump do to heal that differently?
He needs to talk about unifying goals as opposed to them against them. Because Obama talks in terms of this has been wrong and therefore I want to pick a new winner and loser. Remember, when Kennedy gets elected, he's the first president ever, and I talk about this in my book, The Divided Era, to lose more states than he won. And the country was divided. And he set a national goal, go to the moon, Peace Corps, peace in our time, these kind of things. And he got people to don't look at each other in opposition, but say, we're going to go there. Reagan did the same thing. That's what every great leader does. Obama has never done that. Obama has said, I've been wronged and you were wrong, and you were the one who wronged it, and now we're going to reshuffle the cards.
And actually, to stack on top of that, he's run around the world apologizing to the rest of the world for what we, the United States of America, did to them.
Yeah,
I'm sorry we did this. I'm sorry we did this.
We freed the world twice. He never seemed to understand that. So if Trump gets to a point where he says, this is what we're going to achieve versus what wrongs I'm going to right, then he's got a chance to be a great president. Quite honestly, it should be simple for him to be a really good president. You grow the economy, you put some backbone into foreign policy. It doesn't mean you fight everywhere, but you put some backbone in it, and people are hungry for good news. He could actually turn this around quite easily, in my view.
He's only got a few months to go. Hurry up.
Yeah, right?
All right, let's talk about
that, because it's a dangerous 6 months. We talked about this off air. And you get these terror attacks, and they seem to be coming with great regularity. Part of that, I believe, is because they know Obama has got a foot and a half out the door. He's not paying attention. He's not reading his national security briefings. And they know our system. Over the next 7 months, who's really in charge? Who's energetic about it? The answer is no one. And so they're filling this vacuum, and it's a very dangerous period for us.
Well, let's talk about today. I mean, as we know, horrific attacks in Paris. Shooting people as they ran away, people being mowed down. It was absolutely horrible. at least at airtime, 74, maybe 75 dead, a whole lot of people very badly hurt. It's obviously terrorism. Is this because we have no presence, there's no backbone, there's no what if as a result?
Well, depends on how far back you go. Just like the economy is stagnated over a long period of times and this social discontent didn't happen overnight, this didn't happen overnight. This is 8 years of a mistaken policy. Remember that power abhors a vacuum. So when we left the Middle East, bad actors came in. When he allowed them to metastasize, the perfect analogy for this is cancer. It started out as lung cancer. It's now progressed to the whole body. Obama's only concerned about the lungs. He doesn't understand enough, at least rhetorically, that he has to now lead a world coalition and say we have to root this out. He's not doing any of that. Indeed, he convinced France not to act too precipitously after the second attack, and now they've had a third. So the new president must lead an international coalition. They must identify the problem. They must address it globally, and they must not be afraid to act. A prince who's too afraid of his own shadow will be deposed before long, and that's where we are.
Machiavelli, I think.
Pretty close, yeah.
So, in terms of France, in terms of terrorism in Europe, and now it's on our shores, at least last month with Orlando, what could he do if he wanted to with the time he has left? Tomorrow he has to say, I stand with France, and we are going to, he's got to require Saudi Arabia to stand up and say this is wrong, and he must build a coalition of at least people who will rhetorically say this is wrong. Failing that, he needs to strike back very demonstrably militarily. Where?
In Iraq. He must end the caliphate sooner than later. The caliphate landmass is shrinking, and that's a good thing, but he's waited too long. They've only had 30,000 fighters. This could have been dealt with 5 years ago. So he must accelerate that process while standing with France and the rest of Europe and saying, we cannot do this. And critically, he must change the rhetoric. He must isolate them. He's not effectively done that. He says, oh, this is just a few fighters. This isn't real.
The JV, you mean?
Yes, this isn't really what Islam stands for. What he needs to do then is lead a coalition that isolates them and makes it okay for certain Muslims to come out and say no. He should emphasize those people trying to. When was the last time he brought someone to the White House that said that they want to reform Islam?
He's had the Brotherhood in the White House.
But no reformation. Look, at the end of the day, the chances of him being president are roughly the same as me pitching for the Yankees in the World Series. The only difference is I've called and asked to do it.
All right, so, Tom, it's not going to happen.
No.
It's going to change starting at the first of the year. Let's see what both of them decide what to do.
If we have a strong new president.
Exactly. Tom is awesome. I want to have him back. I want to hear what he has to say, and I want to hear what you have to say on our poll tonight. Please go and tell us what you think about Hillary Clinton. Should she have been indicted? Was the FBI wrong? Is the Attorney General wrong for what she did?